yeah, the purpose of this session was really to bring together youth climate organization. So as you have seen, we have a specific event for youth leaders. We have another one for government counterparts. And this one is really for youth climate organizations and really for you to learn from our amazing speakers and their amazing organizations today. So we have Zawad from Movers, yay. So yeah, feel free to share the organizations that you are coming from or representing today. And without further ado, I will maybe introduce a bit the agenda. So we'll have a first part, a short presentation from all the speakers about their own organization. And then we'll have another part where we will try to collect some challenges that you are facing right now. And we will ask the speakers to reflect a bit on that and what they have done in the past to overcome these challenges. And then we'll all come back to the main session. So we see climate reality projects, that's amazing. Another mover. So yeah, please continue to introduce yourself in the chat. And I will pass it to someone maybe randomly. Well, not so randomly. Okay, I will pass it to Fadli, maybe. So Fadli, yes, I'll give you the floor first for your presentation. When you are done, feel free to pass it on to someone else. And yeah, we can continue like this.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Dinh-Long, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bakhtiar, and first of all, thank you to Dinh-Long for having me here, and of course the other speakers or friends, I would say. You know, we've not met, but I feel like we've known each other for so long. And my name is Bakhtiar, and I am the program director of EcoKnights. EcoKnights is an environmental organization based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and we've established in 2005 by our founder and current president, Dr. Yasmin Rashid. So EcoKnights, our vision is to empower people to live sustainably through sustainable action. So in the span of about 16 years since 2005, we've gone through a lot of, I would say, an evolution. We consider ourselves as a teenager organization, not very long, 15, 16 years. It's like the age of a teenager. But one thing that we are very proud of is like the organization is a youth-led organization. And of course, something about EcoKnights that I would like to share with all of you, and I'm sure most of the participants or all of the participants here are youth organization leaders in your own country, in your own respective way and areas. EcoKnights was founded by Yasmin in her late 20s, right? So she came back from the States, United States. She studied in Duke University in marine biology. And she came back and she works for WWF Malaysia for about 6 years as researcher. And after 6 years, she realized that in Malaysia at that time, which is in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, that there was a very limited or almost no community or grassroots based organizations. Most of the environmental organizations are based of focusing on either conservation or research. So she was also at the time, she had her first child, her first daughter, and she thought that she wants to do something that her daughter can also be part of, something that can instill the interest and awareness for the young people. So she started EcoKnights in 2005. And in 2008 is when EcoKnights started to do the first public event called the Eco Film Festival in 2008. Of course, after about 14 years since 2008, this year it's called, currently is being known as the International Kuala Lumpur Eco Film Festival, the first, the biggest, and the longest environmental film festival in Southeast Asia. Of course, when she started that, when EcoKnights started that, we didn't know about all this. We didn't think about, we wanted to be the first. You know, we didn't think that the festival is going to last longer or last long that we thought it would. But this year is our 14th year. So these are some of the earliest, I would say, start of EcoKnights. And of course, after many years, you know, it has evolved into so many things. We ventured, we built confidence, we created new projects, and you know, we work with different partners and so on and so forth. And recently, next slide, Celine. So recently, in 2019, we had another, I would say, like another turning point of the organization, where we sort of try to strategize, streamline, focus, create like focus areas in our work. And we created these 5 pillars, which is community development and education, public outreach, rehabilitation, conservation, and rehabilitation, restoration, and conservation, sustainability communication, and youth development and volunteerism. So this was in 2019. But I would like to share with you that in 2021, we have sort of like restructured a little bit, and instead of 5 pillars under EcoKnights, focusing on all these areas, now we only have 4 pillars. We combine community development education with youth development and volunteerism, and it became 1 pillar called community, youth, and volunteerism, because we felt like it sort of like work on the same subset or same target group. So these are the 4 pillars that we are currently, working on. And I would like to also share with you that one of the key areas, or I would say key success of EcoKnights over especially for the past 6 or 7 years or 8 years maybe, is that we focus on developing young talents. So we created this program called Leadership and Talent Development, where we recruit interns, from universities, or compulsory internship or voluntary internship from Malaysia or from around the world to come to EcoKnights and do their internships and, provide them with their training. At the same time, they would contribute to EcoKnights projects and initiatives. So this has proven to be the key success. And a lot of the interns actually now, became our, were absorbed into the organization to become our employees, right? Why I think it's important to share with you all this is because through these young or youth movements that we are trying to provide, provide the opportunity for youth to come and to intern and to develop ideas. Last year in 2020, with the team, the young team, next Celine, we have basically created one. We have created one project ataupun or what we call as we created this one movement or one project in the partnership with UNDP Malaysia called Project Vocal, or Voice of Climate Action Leaders. So this is a project for 18 until 35 years old in Malaysia, to be to provide them with a platform where they can increase their capacity and increase their knowledge, experience, and also networking within the youth in Malaysia to bring the voice out about the climate issues or the climate change and climate action. But of course, because of the pandemic, now we are opening up to just anyone, not just in Malaysia. So you can be part of Project Vocal, and we'd like to know more about Project Vocal, where we have a lot of activities, engagements, capacity buildings, and so on and so forth. So this is one thing that I feel we want to highlight. Why? Because like I said earlier, it's a 15-year-old organization, yes, but it's led by youth. So the average age of the members, the interns and the volunteers and the people in EcoKnights in 2019 was 23 years old, average age. So you can see all the decision makings, a lot of the decision makings, ideation, coordination, growth, a lot of the things are led by the youth. So I'm so excited to share with you more if I have the chance after this. So thank you so much, Dinh-Long, and I hope to hear from everyone else, the other speakers. So perhaps I would choose Nita. You're next.
Hi, Nila. Where is she? I lost her on the screen. Hi, Nila. Okay.
Hello. Hello. So, yes. Thank you. Thank you very much, Fadli, for the explanation of the organization. It's impressive that this exists quite long, and then not right now there's so many different things that is going on. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nila Pati. I am currently located in the Maldives, in one of the atoll in the Maldives, but I originally come from Indonesia. And today I'm representing YOUNGO, the youth constituency of the UNFCCC. And I think most of you already heard it from our friends, Mary Claire. Let me see, is Mary Claire here? I think Mary Claire is here. So Mary Claire is here and she already explained a lot about what is YOUNGO and how can we join YOUNGO. So I'm probably gonna go further with the explanation on the experience and what is a tangible action that you can do if you're becoming part of the YOUNGO. So maybe to start with, YOUNGO is a official youth constituency of the UN, UNFCCC, so the United Nations Framework Convention for Climate Change. The specific framework for climate change, and every year this UNFCCC organizes something called climate conference called COP, so the Conference of Party. For example, not last year, 2 years ago, it was in Madrid, and last year or this year is supposed to be in Glasgow, but because of COVID pandemic, it didn't happen. So the idea is that this is a place where young people can directly connect it with the decision maker. This is the place where boundaries of hierarchical level, it just get dissolved a little bit more, and we get more access to actually have a communication with the minister, with the party representatives, people who are actually making decision in the Paris Agreement, for example. So within YOUNGO, there's so many different things that you can do, depends on what kind of things that you're interested. You can work on adaptation if you like adaptation. You can work on the city topic. You can work on the topic related to ocean. Because when it comes to climate change, everything related and all hands has to be on the deck. So when it comes to like what kind of things that you can do within YOUNGO, your imagination is the limitation basically. So for example, I come from Indonesia, and I'm really concerned about education and about the empowerment and about the participation of people on the climate action. So I joined the ACE working group. So ACE stands for Action for Climate Empowerment. And I think Fleur already explained it really nicely what is ACE and what a kind of contribution that ACE has for the NDCs that we have. So every single working group in YOUNGO has worked in different kind of topic. And I think for now, I would like to share my experience during the climate conference, why and how young people within the organization of YOUNGO can actually influence not just national, but also international ground for decision maker. So in 2019, I joined the climate conference in Madrid. And in that place, we have several different events. We have several different, like panel discussion, meetings, negotiation. So what happened in here is that you pick something that you like there. You pick something that you're passionate, that makes you wake up every morning and wanting to do this. And you see a problem in there and you want to fix it. You fix it in the legislation level. Fix it in the action that will smooth out and make it easy for organizations such as all of the different organizations that is in here, make it easy for them to actually go further, because then the national regulation will change or get influenced by us. So what happened then is that I joined the Action for Climate Empowerment group, because the idea is that we would like to have more of the ACE elements being implemented in the national determination contribution of every country. So when we join that, we come up with several different suggestions. And what is very interesting is that, well, I think any Asian or any Asian country realized that it's quite difficult to actually contact our minister or our governmental agent. Within the floor of YOUNGO, this is accessible. This is the place that you can actually just go for them and say like, hey, is it okay if I have a coffee with you? And then you sit together and then you tell the story that you like, that you would like to propose. And within no time, we got invited to sit in the roundtable with the Action for Climate Empowerment national focal point from different countries and share the idea. And a lot of time it is being picked up. Of course, not directly implemented, but imagine that if your idea being picked up by a country, and then they said like, okay, you know what? this is brilliant. I would like to push this further. And what we said is, okay, how can we help push further? Because YOUNGO group consists of thousands and thousands of young people across the globe. What we do is usually we post it in our group saying that this country is interested to go further. Who come from this country can follow it up. And then the action will start build up and happening. So we're not really exactly, NGOs or a special organization. We're overarching structure where everyone from different kind of NGOs can work together and implement changes. So I personally think that everyone in here should just join YOUNGO if you're interested to follow up in the decision maker and make changes there. Because in the near future, we will have the ACE Youth Forum where we will talk with all of the young people from different part of the world, different initiatives. What is important is that we are young people, we have internet, we have really amazing access of information. There is no limitation in there. So we need to be able to share knowledge. We need to be able to talk with each other and learn from each other because there's only one goal. The goal is to stay below 1.5. The goal is to have a climate action. And with YOUNGO, that's something that we can do together. I think that's what I would like to share. And please feel free if you have any question, if you have any remarks, if you have any concern, don't forget, just put it in a comment or share it in, next we have a survey Mentimeter, right, Dinh-Long? Thank you so much. And for next, I would like to push it to Antoine. There you go.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah, let me just share my screen. One sec. So first of all, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. And I would like to send a Happy New Year from Vietnam. We are approaching the Tet holiday, the Lunar New Year. So today I would like to share with you a bit of my story. So this is, can you guess what it is? Please comment in the chat box if you recognize this. If it is familiar with you. So this is the sky on top of my roof, but it was like 20 years ago. I remember when my parents went to bed, I sneaked up on my rooftop and lie down and look at the sky, and then beautiful with all the stars, and I just never forget that. But this is what I see now today in my city, in Hanoi City. And someday I couldn't even see like my neighbor building. It's very polluted, and it's happening. I believe it's not only in Vietnam, in Hanoi, but it's around the world, especially in our regions. And then this is something that it strikes me when I think about climate change. It's not something that we see in the future, but it's already happening, and it's already affecting our lives. So that's why I started my journey. I've been working in like professionally in social development for over 10 years, and I've been working on youth development and youth empowerment, and recently working with young people on climate change and climate actions. So that's a bit about me. Now I would like to go into introduction of YNET, which is the organization that I am representing today. So you can see on the screen is members of YNET. It might be very familiar with you. It's in the background of the event poster. So you can see like we have young people across Vietnam. And you can also recognize Mai Hoang, the special reporter. So YNET is a network of youth organizations across Vietnam. We are working on climate actions, and then we had the opportunity to gather in a place, a very beautiful place in Vietnam, in the central of Vietnam, with the UNDP, to help us to write a report on youth actions regarding to climate activities in Vietnam, and to propose some of the bottlenecks and also some solutions for young people in Vietnam. And during the time when we were gathering, we figured out that we are doing so many things, so many different things together at the same time. Some of us are doing very similar things, but we don't know each other. We don't know what are we working on, and we don't know how to support each other. We don't know how to fight each other, and then we don't know how to raise our voice, because if we are working as a small organization, a small team, it's very difficult for us to approach like decision makers, or to go on and work with different stakeholders. And then we thought that if we want to go fast as a small organization, we can go alone. But if we want to go as a movement, if we want to go far, and if we want to make impact, we have to go together. So that's why YNET was born. And YNET stands for Youth for Climate Network in Vietnam. And here's our logo. I would like to explain a bit about our activities and our missions and visions. So at YNET is a network, and we want to build a network of youth climate actions in Vietnam, across the countries, in different parts of the country. And now we're in a phase of recruiting new organizations. We want to reach out to different kind of organizations, small organizations, as well as bigger organizations. So we have like a diverse types of members. The next activity would be awareness raising and capacity building campaigns and activity for our members. And we would like to expand it to other youth organizations across the countries. We will have different training, different tours, and different campaigns to help them to build different kind of capacities that we analyze during our workshops, our consultation, focusing on fundraising, project management, and stakeholder management and stakeholder engagement, and also knowledge and understanding about climate change. The next activity would be stakeholder engagement and policy advocacy. We want to build a network and to gather the voices of young people across Vietnam, and doing different activities to raise our voice, to increase our visibilities, and to approach like different forum, different platform, so we can, like our colleague here just shared, that we want to sit with the policymakers. We want to represent young people in COP, in other platforms, in other forums. And next one is our overall goal, to foster climate action efforts nationally and globally, with different activities. And then one of our upcoming activity is, you all know the COP26, the United Nations Climate Change Conference in UK 21. And then we would like to bring this opportunity to young people in Vietnam to understand more about COP, what is COP, and how young people can play a role within the framework. And we would like to organize a sort of mock COP26, so people have more awareness about it, and they started to understand how does it work and how we can get involved as a young person. So that was pretty much a brief introductions of YNET. We are a very young organization, a very young network. but we hope that we can connect and we get the support and to join the movement. So here's the QR code. You can screenshot, or I can share it with all of you later on. And please follow us on Facebook and other platform. Thank you very much. And lastly, who else? One second, I'm just gonna stop.
The last one will be Keshav.
Yes, please, Keshav. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Namaste, everyone. Myself, Keshav, this side, and I'm currently speaking from India. I hope you all are doing good at your places. So, yeah, I'm basically an enthusiastic volunteer, and it's been 4 to 5 years that I'm, selflessly volunteering, doing my bit for the better world. I'm a professional social worker in SOS India, and currently also volunteering with 2030 Youth Force India, and taking care of regional core as well. So yeah, that's a bit about me. I'm a joyful personality as well, always here and there. So yes, so I'm here to share my let me just share my screen as well. Yeah, regarding 2030 Youth Force, which I'm representing today. So there you go. Thank you so much. So yeah, the motive of showing the video at the very beginning is to make you guys a little excited, because I personally think it was getting a little boring. So yeah, so 2030 Youth Force, it's mainly work around youth in the Asia Pacific region, and the main vision behind it is to unite the 700 plus million youth of Asia Pacific region. Back in 2016, UNDP realized that, okay, if we come up with a platform like this, we can definitely enhance the, or how to say, like, it will be more impactful if we take along the youth power of Asia Pacific region. So yes, we mainly work on 3 to 4 pillars, which is awareness, engagement, and advocacy. So yes, these are the 3 to 4 things that we usually work on. And yes, we are very decentralized organization as well. Our chapters are in +7 countries of Asia Pacific region. We tend to take our own initiatives as well. And yeah, recently we have initiated a virtual, am I audible, Din?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we also initiated the virtual youth festival on Global Week of Action in last September, and we have seen the overwhelming participations over there as well. So yes, we tend to initiate many things, and feel free to join in, because yes, we are very diverse, and at the same time, working on many different issues. Yes, one of it is climate action. I'm sharing the links on the group itself so that you guys, if no matter where you're from, you can contact our chapters. So yeah, that's all from my end. Thank you so much, Dane, and thank you so much, UNDP, for giving this opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. So wanted to say, everyone, you can turn on your video. I think it's the only time today that you can put the video so we can see each other's face. Have been so many people have been requesting, when can we see other delegates' face? So it's right now. Cool, it actually works. Cool, no, thank you. I think I wanted to highlight the fact that we have 4 speakers and 4 organizations, which are really different. We have like a very international one established for a long time, national ones who have like different, like one is very, you know, has been in operation for many, many years. One is a bit more new. One is currently being set up. So I think we have different profiles, and hopefully you as representative of youth organization, you can also relate a bit to what all the speakers said today. And maybe for the interest of time, we wanted to do a Mentimeter, but we'll just do on the Zoom chat. I think it should be okay. But could you share with us, I think one question for everyone, maybe, and it will help a bit on the second part of this session, is for all of you today, you know, what would you say as, whether you are a youth climate organization or youth organizations that want to do more for climate, what would you say are your top 1, top 2, maybe top 3, if you have time, challenges when it comes to, you know, growing your organization, but also, you know, the topic of today is how can we have more, how can youth organizations support, you know, the national climate plans, design and implementation? So if you can share that on the chat, maybe a few challenges that you are currently facing. So please do, we'll leave you a few minutes, but try to be as specific as possible. I think we've seen today that most of the bottlenecks when it comes to individual action organization is about, you know, funding, partnership, skills. But what specifically, you know, when it comes to funding is your challenge? What specifically when it comes to skill is your challenge? So please do share in the chat if you want to share with everyone. And in the meantime, I would ask similar question to our speakers today. Maybe I will ask Fadli first, because EcoKnights has been there for a long time. And Fadli, you've been there like since the beginning as a volunteer, and then, you know, you climbed up the ladder, and now you are the big boss. But, you know, from all your journey with EcoKnights, maybe what could you pinpoint, you know, major challenges that the organization faced when everything started, and what did you do to overcome them?
Like I said earlier, when Yasmin started it, when Yasmin founded EcoKnights, you know, she was, you know, not like a very young person, not like in her early 20s. Like a lot of organizations now, or the youth now, you know, they're involved in the movement in the early age. I think 15, 20 years ago, those are not something that is very common. So one of the main challenges is, of course, when you want to start something that people have no idea about or don't know about. So like I said, when we started our first Eco Film Festival in 2008, you know, at that time, we realized that there's not enough content, like visual contents or information or films related to environment that is suitable for the grassroots, for the people in Malaysia. Because when you want to talk about climate change, when you talk about environmental issues, we have to use films from outside of Malaysia. So that's one of the, you know, like I think one of the challenges to see how, you know, what you do can fit with the needs of the people in your, you know, in your surrounding. So, and then to convince these people, and we had to start very small. I think one big challenge is definitely funding. But I remember Yasmin, I still remember till now, Yasmin told me that, you know, she invested, you know, 20,000 ringgit of her own money to start the first film festival, and with some fundraising from some friends and families. So it's definitely one of the, one of the challenges. But I think the funding is not a challenge. The challenge to me is like, how do we think to grow it sustainably and having the right resources to start. That means, I know everyone like Keshav, like he's an avid volunteer. I know a lot of you are doing out of passion, which is true, which is right. But you have to also, to me, like my philosophy or like my principle is like, think like a capitalist, but work like a philanthropist, like that's my personal principle. So I think like, how do I maximize the funding for my organization, right? But then I think about how do I spend it, like actually making an impact, rather than like getting a lot of funding, but then use only small amount and then make money elsewhere and stuff like that. So that's one of the challenges is to make sure that we are able to plan our activities and programs and initiatives by having necessary resources, especially money. I mean, that's one fact that I realized from my experience. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks so much, Fadli. I actually wanted to give the floor to Nila after, because I think she can also reflect on that from her experience in YOUNGO, and I saw that she commented something. So do you want to add on something, Nila?
Sure. So I like the perspective of like, think like capitalists work as philanthropists. I like it. Because yes, absolutely, we all need a source of financial support in one way or another because we live in the capitalistic world. But yeah, so this is something that as YOUNGO have been advocating also the fact that sustainability shouldn't be something that is voluntarily. It should be something that is also value as a monetary value, let's say. And for us in YOUNGO is that because we are basically an umbrella of various different organizations, we don't, everything that we're doing this is volunteer basis. But what is important is that how can we actually give access for young people to a decision maker? So that's the most important thing that YOUNGO is doing. The challenge is, of course, sometimes the decision maker thinks that young people age below 30, still in the university or even still in high school, what do they know? So a challenge on changing perspective that the fact everyone need young people in the decision maker is something that we always try to pursue. Moreover, when it comes to finance, it's of course different section of YOUNGO because YOUNGO is very big. It's around 3,000 to 5,000 members across the globe. We are, because we're very big, we have our own working group. And each working group, of course, needs some sort of support of finance. Or, for example, in ACE, when you want to implement action for climate empowerment, you for sure need some funding. And this is also something that we're trying to, find a solution for countries, because every single country have their own problem. We are trying to support them in every single possible ways. Countries such as the global north countries probably have less issue related to the finance because usually they have allocated finance for youth and climate. But when it comes to global south or Asia Pacific, that's where the tricky things comes. So we sometimes come up with a suggestion, how can we actually support, how can we find the funding that is eligible and that is good also for for the country to pursue every single action that we are proposing. I think the other thing that YOUNGO or I think any big organization has is because it's so big, sometimes we miss some communication. So and there's so many different people from different cultures. that also have different way of talking, different way of speaking. Sometimes a normal sentence in one culture is completely offended in different culture. So this is something that we need to overcome all the time, that how can we communicate with each other? What is the international sign? What is international language that we need to put up there in order for us to have effective communication? And I think somebody already wrote also that the fact the COVID pandemic is quite difficult also, because a lot of the time we will meet up once a year in the climate conference, and face-to-face communication is very important. Although right now we have to adjust, but what I'm saying is that besides funding, is of course, as a big organization, it's really all about put everyone on the same framework of mind, that we are doing this for the same purpose, that every single group, it's like an engine, it's like a car, you know, you have the wheel, you have the door, you have the machine. Without, like, if all of this is just by itself, it wouldn't work. But the moment you put them together, then you actually have a vehicle that you can drive through. So I think that's from my perspective on the challenges and how can we pursue further. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nila. So I see now so many things, Nila and Fadli, you inspired the audience to answer. Thank you so much. So there's so many interesting points. So let me maybe highlight two. So I think we have time. So time is short, so we'll have time for two more questions. I will address one to Tuan and one to Keshav. But from Keith, from Philippines, I think he said one of his challenge is inadequate background and capacity on the technicalities of the different processes. So I think it's something you mentioned a bit as well, Nila and Fadli. But I wanted to redirect this to Antoine, because I know, and you've shown that you've do so many activities, some might be very technical as well. So I was wondering, how did you have this challenge as well? And what did you do with your community members to overcome that?
Thank you, Dinh-Long, for the questions. I'm sorry because I've been reading through the chat box and there's so many questions, and it is true that because we are a very young organizations, we also have difficulties in terms of technical capacity, especially when working with climate change and climate action. We need to equip ourselves with knowledge, most recent knowledge about climate change and related areas. So for us, because the majority of the members are students and young people, and we're still in universities, and some of us are in a very earlier stage of our careers. So to enhance our knowledge, we have to learn constantly, and we learn through connecting with different forums, joining different forum, different workshops, and learning constantly. We actually have a plan to learn, and we set a deadline. Recently, we joined a grant from British Council, and we set a goal that we have to learn like 2 courses. Each of the member will have to learn 2 courses, one about air pollution and the other one about climate change, to set a standard and understanding and knowledge for all of the members. And also there's many different resources that you can connect online. You can learn online, and you also can connect with experts. We are very lucky that we have the opportunity to connect with different experts in Vietnam through different organizations like UNDP and British Council, for example. I think that it's not only about the technical, but also about connections and funding. It's all about connections. If you have connections, you can ask people for help. There's no shame to ask for help, and then we are asking people to support us as advisors, and then we ask them to for example, we are organizing an event and we cannot, we are not capable of doing the content of the event. We have to ask advisors who are from the government, who are from the UN agencies and from the NGOs. So I think making new connections is a great way to solve that challenge, because those people, they are willing to help and they have the capacity to help us. And constant learning is the only way that we can equip ourselves. So that was very briefly sharing from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Antoine. So yeah, connect with everyone here, connect with YOUNGO, but all the speakers and everyone to get access to experts that can solve one of these challenges of how can you overcome all the technicalities when it comes to climate change activities. Okay, so there's so many challenges. Before I go back to you, Nila, because I see your hand, I will ask a question to Keshav. I see many people mention, okay, how to make climate change, I would say, sexy, how to make more people interested in climate change. I see from someone from Sri Lanka who said that no one cares in his or her community. I see from Tuan that in my organization, some people care about climate change, not everyone. And I want to direct this question to Keshav, because I know 2030 Youth Force don't necessarily focus on climate change, but on SDGs in general, but you still add on climate change activities in your activities. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dan. So yeah, I think if you ask me regarding how we can, what I get to the question, how we can involve as many people as possible to take action for climate change, right? So in my understanding, it's all about how innovative, how recreational the organization is. You know, how to say, catchy you are. Like people should get like attracted towards you, and that also comes with the funding part, what we have discussed before. You know, once if the organization, if the people of the organization are committed enough, then of course you can find many ways, you know, through fundraising activity and all. Back to Din question regarding how we can involve you know, people for the climate action. So it's all about, as I mentioned, you know, it's all about sharing the word. It's all about coming up with a platform which people you know, find a kind of safe space. Let's say if I give an example, since Movers is also doing a kind of very good workshop on climate action. So recently 2030 Youth Force back in 2020, yeah, we initiated a virtual summer school, and we partnered with Movers, where we selected 15 young Indians, and you know, just gave them workshops on Movers and climate action, and we even raised funds through that activity. So it's all about how innovative and recreational a person or the organization. People are very committed, and if I say, you know, recently we also initiated a survey where we got the good results. There were like plus 20 to 250 responses from all across Asia Pacific countries. So what we found out is like people really, or young people really want to take actions. Some of them, of course, they are confused or they are in between something, but yes, they are looking for organization. They are looking for platforms, such platforms where they can take actions. So yes, it's all about you know, be grounded, be you know, innovative as well, you know, to come up with something fun and as well as impactful. And people are there, people will be definitely joining you guys, because as you can see, look at us, you know, we are here more than 50 people from different countries. We are committed towards climate action. So yes, people will definitely join in, and stay positive and stay committed. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Keshav. So I'll quickly pass it to Nila.
Thank you, Keshav, Fadli, and Antoine, and Dinh-Long. So my only comment is that I know that we are young. I know that we are below, what, 40 maybe? I think, Fadli, I'm not sure. But I'm joking. But the most important thing is that don't belittle yourself. You are the expert on certain ways in your expertise. And please, please, please don't put yourself as if you're, I'm young people, I know a little bit and I know nothing. No, 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 no. The moment you're in the negotiation table, you're equal as everyone there. So raise your head up and then go for it. Because you know that, it's all of the thing about climate action is something that you can push further. Thank you.
Cool. So I think following up on that, I will maybe let every speaker to say final thoughts, but please be concise. Thank you, because I think the main session started already. So I'll pass it to Tuan first.
Oh, is it me? So, very last word that one thing that I remember from our workshop in Vietnam, that we always, when we talk with the government, we say that we are young people, we need your support, but actually we somehow distinguish young people and the government and the expert. Why don't we be a part of the expert? Why don't we join the government to be equal with them? So change our mindset, change our positions, change our mind. We are equal and we can participate equally. So I think that's the message for me and from YNET. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Antoine. Maybe Keshav, you want to go next for any closing thoughts?
Yeah. So as I said, and even Nila mentioned, it's all about how committed and motivated you are. So just go ahead. People will definitely gonna join in. Let's say there are always like-minded people around you. You just need to choose them and move forward with it. Yeah, and all other things, funding, other stuff will be an issue. But yes, it will come by itself. You don't need to worry a lot. But yes, just take actions and feel free. Like we are here, Nila, I am here. Then we are here to support you always. Either you can join the platform, we can collaborate, partner anytime. So yes, we are very much approachable. Thank you.
Thank you. And final closing remarks for Fadli, also known as DJ Fabs.
Yep. Thanks, Din. I have a few things I want to share, just key points based on my experience. Number one is for me, I find a mentor. So for me, I found Yasmin, my founder and president, as a mentor, and I shadow her everywhere she goes. For me, I have a different approach. I keep my mouth shut. I just listen to her, listen to how she does everything, take notes, learn, observe, until I find a little bit more confidence to sort of like, show my qualities, my potential. So that's number one. Secondly, is you have to keep evolve. You have to keep doing everything, from the simplest things, operations, development, anything, like you need to be able to understand the whole supply, the whole process of getting something done. I think this is one of the key things, to get something done. Doesn't matter whether it's small project, big project, you need to be able to do from the start till the end and observe and improve from that. Third is keep learning and keep giving. This is a lifelong thing. And thinking about saying about the lifelong thing is, this is to me personally, after almost 15 years with EcoKnights, this is a very long, a very tough journey. You seldom have people who would tap on your shoulder and say, well done. This is a very underappreciated career, I would say. Very tough, but focus on what you want to do. Always know that you're doing this for something better for yourself, for the humanity, for the world. And I believe in the end, there will be a reward for whatever that you have done or whatever that you do. So always believe in that. Although a lot of times you don't see that there's actually, you're making progress. You are actually making progress and you will succeed one way or another, right? So that's all I want to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Fadli, Tuan, Nila, Keshav. So everyone, I will take 1 more minute of your time. If you can turn on your video, we'll take a quick picture. At the same time, while you are turning on your video, just want to share, thank you so much to the speakers and to you. And yeah, we'll send you the recording if you wanna re-listen or share with your friends. And also I will save the chat. So send again all the challenges that you have shared. And also we'll send you a small survey on behalf of the YECAP, so the Youth Empowerment for Climate Action Platform, just so that we can get to know a bit better who are the youth climate organizations who join the dialogue, and also understand better your needs and how can the platform support you in the long term. So we have 51 people, so we have 2 pages. So what we usually do with the movers is you can choose either between this Korean heart or this heart from another country or the very big one. Well, with a background is not that convenient, but choose one, choose your side. And yeah, just hold your position. I will count to 3 and take the first picture. All right. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Okay. Don't move. I will move to the second page. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Thank you so much. I will share that along with the email. Please come back to the main session. Now we have what will the platform do for you, closing remarks, amazing things. So I shared again the link on the chat. See you in the main session. Thank you so much. And yeah, see you on the other side.